Welcome to race number 11 in the Dixon Smoked Meats Truck Series. We're here at Lucas Oil Raceway for the final race of the final season here to try to get into the chase here. Looks like drivers are right now going over and practicing. Shortly here, they'll be getting to qualifying, and we'll have a 125 lap race here today. Joining me today is, of course, Rish Koslaw and Dr. Erica Campbell, my colorful commentary. We wanted to get on here a little bit earlier for us to go over some of these important drivers that we'll be trying to get a good idea of where they're going to be running at for the chase here. So while you're watching practice, I'm going to pull that up real quickly and we can have a good idea of who are drivers that are going to have to battle tonight to try to get into the chase here. Well, right now, on the top of the points, with not much of a challenge in front of him for him to finish in the top of the standings here, is Timothy Holmes, Ethan Stanley in second, Levi Lasiski in third. But real quick, we want to go down to where it's going to come real close tonight. So how the points work here in the truck series, the top 12 make it in points, no matter of wins or how many top 10 starts they have. It just goes down to the top 12 in points. After that, there are two positions, 13th and 14th, that are decided by wins. So right now, you don't see it on your standings there. Drivers that are on the edge of making it in on wins, Scott Grump, who's in 12th, has a win. Daniel Martinez has a win. He's in 13th. And another driver there, that's Sheen Ryan of the number 9 truck that we've seen. He won at the road course earlier this year. He's another driver with a win. He's in 16th position. Now, it's not guaranteed all three of those make it in. And it's not to say that they can't point their way in. So it comes down to a lot of strategy tonight and having to know who's around you, know where the drivers that are going to try to point their way in or feel comfortable trying to make it in. But as far as tonight goes, we're going to have to try to keep an eye on these point standings here. So give me 1 second here, and I'm going to have Erica join us here in a short bit, and we'll go over qualifying, go over a little bit more of our drivers, and a little rundown for tonight. Perfect, Erica's here with us now. Erica, do you got a copy?
Yes.
Perfect. Let me get here. Joining me tonight is also Rish. He's part of a lot of other commentary people and been with an elite, so glad to have an experienced driver or commentator here with us tonight. Rish, you're joining us at the perfect opportunity. This is where a lot of nerves are going to come all to a head. A lot of drivers, the seasons are all depending on this night here, so I think you joined in at probably a point in the season where these drivers are going to go 110% here tonight.
Should be an exciting night here, Gerald. Happy to be helping out here with this truck series. Looking forward to seeing how this race shapes out. So it looks like we've got an exciting points battle going to play out.
While practice is going in there, I fixed it. Sorry about that. I had an echo for the longest time, and I just figured out what it was, so now I can talk without hearing myself talk. It's bad enough that you guys have to hear me, but if I got to hear me while I'm talking to you, it's going to be real complicated, because I talk enough. I don't need to have two of me talking at the same time. That's just too much for anybody. But here we go. Back to the point standings here real again. Sorry about that, Rich. We'll now be able to pull that up and I can go over it and actually hear what I'm trying to think about. Yeah, so drivers obviously in the zone of kind of not quite locked in. Obviously, it goes all the way up to Ninth position, Zach Evans. Right there, Zach Evans, Trey Holmes, Alec Ballvance. They're kind of safe. They're kind of high enough up. They got to stay above the top 12 because none of those drivers have wins. They got to stay inside the top 12 to guarantee a lock-in position. Scott Crump is locked in back there in 12th, but he's not guaranteed to make the show either because even though he has a win and he's in 12th right now, he could fall back far enough that both Michael Martinez can be able to pass him, as well as Shane Ryan in the 9 truck can both pass him. And they have wins, so they could take up those final 2 lock-in positions from 13th and 14th. So Scott Crump is not locked in. Daniel Martinez, same situation as Scott Crump, not locked in. Joshua Freed, if this was a regular points thing, he'd be right on the bubble. Right now, he's outside the bubble. He has to get himself in. He's only 4 points away from getting in. Robert Hill Jr., another driver, only 5 points out, does not have a win, has to point in. Back there in 17th, Dylan Jones, a little bit of a harder challenge. He finds himself about 18 points out, but we're at a short track, and anything goes. If he gets himself a win, he might be able to leapfrog some of those other winners and goes down the list of all those other drivers. So we may also get all these winners locked in on points, and then the final 2 positions will be determined by, well, it goes back to just normal stuff. It just determines by who's running in the top 14. So there's a lot going on, Rich. It's going to be a lot to have to take in. We'll try to get down as far as what's going on the racetrack with everyone here tonight. Erica's got our question of the night that we have. So absolutely, this is the time that you're going to want to tune in. You're going to want to be able to get anyone you know to join in right now. As you see as they're qualifying, you see numbers right there in green and yellow. Yellow means that they're in the top 14 in points right now. Green are the drivers that are out. That was coming into the night. So that could definitely change before the end of the night. So just so you know, the drivers that have the yellow numbers on the scoring monitor there are the drivers that are so far are in the top 14. So those are the ones to watch to see if they have a bad night. Of course, they had to do it at a short track of IRP here, where a bumper from an impatient driver could definitely ruin those last 10 races we just did up to this point. So definitely a lot of nerves, a lot of going into this for these drivers. I can only imagine with all of the different scenarios that has to go through their minds. They got to be able to try to focus down and just try to run their race if they have any hopes to try to keep sane during this this craziness that we have here. So right there is Alec Van der Sant getting us a lap around the racetrack. It's a very short track. Around 22 seconds is all it takes to get around here. That's not what you want to do in qualifying, but we'll see that quite a bit in racing. That bumping up against the wall, that disallow his lap. But in the race, that high line is so dominant and so key. We're going to see a lot of drivers right up there against the wall. But yeah, right now qualifying is wrapping up. We'll be able to go green here shortly. The race is 125 laps. There's no race sponsor tonight, but always thank you to Dixon Smoked Beef and Barbecue, as they've been a wonderful series sponsor for us and fit these truck series so well. So far, the racing this season, undeniably some of the best racing I've seen on sim racing. It's just been a lot of hard racing between all these drivers. Another thing to keep note, we still have a rookie battle going on for points. Not much of a battle, unfortunately, for the top of the rookie standings, as it's both our points leader. That's Timmy Holmes, who's won twice this season. One of the only drivers that's actually running for points to actually have multiple wins. Timmy Holmes is battling with Ethan Stanley, who is also in second in points. So top 2 drivers right now in points are both rookies, and both of them are showing great skill so far this season. We'll see if they can complete it for the regular season here and see how long they can take that drive into the chase once we get it all wrapped up, because once we get this race going, then we'll have to talk about how the chase works. It's completely different with how the Cup Series, or as far as in elite as well as normal truck series and real life does their chase format. So a lot of going on to go over it with you. But tune in and we'll try to make it as less complicated as possible. But Justin Munsell out there, one of those drivers I just stated, another one of those rookie drivers, having a fantastic season. He's had a couple up and downs, but I feel very strongly about his chase hopes. If he's not already locked in, I think he's just about. Well, qualifying has wrapped up. I'll give it over to someone that's a lot better sounding voice than I, and she's going to give you your rundown very quickly here because it's not going to take long for us to get going green flag here. But I'm going to give it over to Dr. Erica Campbell, and she'll give us our rundown of these starting positions here.
And so starting on pole this evening, we have Tyler Fode, Sean Ryan in second, Justin Munsell third, Chad Frankenfield fourth. In fifth, we have Vincent Isabella, Alec Balvans rolling off in sixth, Levi Zielinski seventh, eighth, Zach Evans, Dustin Dewar ninth, 10th, Tyler Dixon, Daniel Martinez 11th, Michael Goodman 12th. Mark Keeler 13th, Fred Anderson 14th, Joshua Hodges 15th, Brent Jones 16th, Alex Vandersant 17th, 18th, Sam Bootwell. Rolling off in the 19th position is Michael Klein, Ethan Stanley 20th, Robert Hill Jr. 21st, Cole Mikra 22nd, Josh Freed 23rd, Dylan Jones 24th. And in 25th, Timmy Holmes, Tom Bourne 26th, Trey Holmes 27th, Harrison Talon 28th, Michael Hossack 29th, Kendall Noah 30th, Ray Bracey 31st, Brody Moore 32nd, Cody Harrington 33rd, Chad Thornquist 34th.
That was fantastic, Eric. I think that was your fastest one this season. You started getting these names down, haven't you?
I'm starting to get used to it, Gerald. It doesn't take too long.
Well, it definitely, you definitely have taken to it very well, Eric. I gotta say, I've enjoyed this season spending time with you and doing this, and I appreciate you joining with me tonight for these truck series. It's been a lot of fun, and just can't wait to see how it all plays out tonight, and then find out who are lucky drivers that will race with us this season. Do you have any encouraging words for the drivers that are about to battle tonight?
Well, I think that it's going to be an exciting race, so I just wish them all luck and hope that they enjoy the drive.
Oh, we'll find out how long the drive goes as the pace truck's lights are off. We're going to be going green flag this time by. Once the pace truck comes off, we'll leave it down to Fode lead us off the field. He's going to start on the outside. So pace truck is off. Well, we've gotten through here 10 races, 11 races in now. This is the final decider for who's making it into the chase. One more time, where the racing gets good and the good gets racing. Tyler Fode takes the green flag, and we are going to start the chase next season, all depending on how these drivers do tonight. Tyler Fode gets out to a very decent lead over Shane Ryan, and right there trying to take the outside and takes the position there. That's Chad Frankenfield. We've seen those two drivers go to battle, Frankenfield and Fode. It seems they always seem to find each other up at the front of the field. Both of those drivers are championship-winning drivers, so none of them are racing for points. They're just racing for the glory of victory tonight and hoping to stay out of some of these drivers' way that are trying to go out for a chase position here. We saw Levi there, Zielinski, our Daytona winner. He just cleared himself from Alec Balvans and found himself now in the 6th position. Seeing a lot of checking up back there, but so far for a short track, a very good start for these truck drivers. They're getting spread out, getting used to the feel of how these trucks will handle around here. It's a very high groove racetrack, something you don't normally see on a short track. Normally you see them run around the bottom like Martinsville, but no, not here. The high lane, the way to go, as all these drivers are starting to tiptoe around. Every so often, you'll find a driver duck underneath another one to try to see if he can complete the pass, put the pressure on him, get him closer to the wall, and see if he can be able to complete any positions. Unfortunately, right there, you saw this 97 or 79 of Tyler Dixon unable to get past, I believe that was Dustin Durr. So Dustin Durr able to retain that ninth place position there. Good battle back there, starting to shape up as well. That looks like, is that the 18? No, that's the 08. A couple drivers there in the 19. That's Fred Anderson there. 3 wide almost. This 97. Oh, almost slides and almost got contact. That would have sent him right into the wall. Able to get himself onto the very bottom lane there. That's Alex Vanderzant there. Oh, with 19. That's what you want to try to do if you're on the inside, is try to pressure that driver. Maybe make him make a mistake, but we see a driver around in the back, hit the wall hard back there. Oh, wow, I'm trying to get a number and read on that, but whoever that was just got absolutely flipped into the wall there. I believe that might have been, oh no, that was one of our drivers trying to get on points there. That was Robert Hill Jr. there. He was 15th in points. He was one of those drivers trying desperately to try to work his way in there. So we'll try to see if we can get a shot to find out what happened to one of our chase hopefuls of the number 28 of Robert Hill Jr. Looks like the inside driver just barely slid into him, but I've never seen a slide do that to a truck. It looked like he got hit by a freight train. That sent him right around. That will absolutely end Robert Hill Jr.'s night. I believe he's in the garage, and I'm thinking he's going to probably be calling it a night. He's already, he's already a lap down. Well, that completes. I believe we're on lap number 8 now as Fody goes across the start-finish line. So on lap 8, I believe the stage is here tonight will be lap 30, lap 60, and then all the way to the end of lap 125 will be the end of the race. So we've still got quite a bit of drivers that are going to try to work their way up through the field and hope that their night isn't ruined like Robert Hill Jr.'s is, as we still have a lot of drivers that are right on that cut line, and that's not what you want to see when you're one of those drivers, is one of your competitors being taken out early on. You would hope that they would have been able to run a little bit of a cleaner start for it, but overall, this is what you get at a short track. It's beating and banging at its finest, and this is one of those short tracks that's very difficult to pass on. So contact is going to be inevitable. You just hope that it's not you, or hope that you can be able to find your way around it. But it looks like Fody is going to take the outside lane there. We do have a choose cone tonight, so now Chad Frankenfield is going to opt out of the inside lane and get behind Fody and run the preferred outside lane there. So that's now going to put the number 9, Shane Ryan, now into the second position there. So we'll be waiting on Fody to take the green flag back once again, now with Chad Frankenfield right onto the back bumper of him. And green flag is out. Fody gets out to a very decent, respectable lead there. He gets out to about a 5 or 6 truck lead over Chad Frankenfield and Shane Ryan, as the battle for second is now underway. Looks like that 9 truck had a very good 1 and 2. Probably more than what Chad was expecting to be able to have as far as a battle underneath. And so far, Chad Frankenfield is getting battled very hard close to the wall. Coming out of 4 is so scary when you're in these vehicles, because that wall comes at you very quickly. We'll take an onboard shot here so you can see just how difficult it is to try to get this bottom lane running, and why these drivers will eventually have a run-in with someone onto the outside of them. It's just so flat, and when you come out of these turns, that wall comes right at you. So Chad Frankenfield able to defend and retain his second place position. Now Justin Munsell trying to figure out if he can be able to find his way into the third place. The first truck to figure out how to be able to run the bottom is going to be the driver that is able to work themselves up to the front quicker than anybody. Everyone's going to be so dedicated to trying to stay up on the high lane and defend, making sure no one can be able to get to their outside, that eventually you're going to have to try to figure out how to be able to run that bottom lane. Well, don't forget, we also have our Dining Dash Challenge. We've had 3 so far this season. The 4th is tonight. Erica's already got a question in mind. And we had a winner last week, so our first ever winner in the Dine and Dash Challenge. Again, all you got to do is just answer Erica's question before the end of stage 2. She will ask it at the end of stage 1, so you have an entire stage to put your answer down to have a chance to win $10, either a Grubhub or additional options to be able to redeem at the end of the night if you are the winner. So definitely stay tuned, and doesn't cost anything. Just enter in and have fun with us tonight as you get to watch these wonderful trucks put on a battle for us. As you see, Daniel Martinez trying desperately to get around Alec Ballvance around that bottom. Another one of those drivers with a win underneath his name, but does not have the comfort of being locked in with that win by no means. Battle back there. That's the 79 once again. That's Dixon. And to his outside, trying to get an idea. I think that is the number 6 truck. Yes, it is. That's Zach Evans. Oh, another truck right behind him slams the wall. That was the 03 there. I don't know if that's the number that matches. Yeah, that's Michael Kean is the number 3. So you see Zach Evans trying to get up there with Tyler Dixon to put battle to him. Another one of those drivers that's right on the cut line. He's in right now, but just by so much. I believe he's only in by about 18 points. So he definitely just wants to make sure he finishes tonight off with a clean truck underneath him. But we do have a caution out. The number 25 truck, it looks like on the front straightaway, looped it around here. Ooh, yeah, the 88 there. Yeah, Trey Holmes just came out of that turn and put the throttle down a little bit faster than than the 25 would have hoped for, as that turned him right around. Luckily, no drivers are going to have a damaged truck from it too badly. 25 did a very good job of not going into that inside wall and slid up and not back into the racing groove. So Joshua Freed is going to have a truck still tonight, and probably not as happy, but once he looks back on it, he'll be pretty happy that he was able to save that, because that could have ended very ugly for him. Well, so far, Erico, the trucks have been. You see how hard it is to battle and pass out here. I mean, I imagine this is going to how it's be all night. Do you imagine there's going to be a lot of angry drivers by the end of the night?
I'm sorry, would you repeat the question?
How many drivers do you think there's going to be? Quite a few drivers angry at the end of the night. You see how hard they're battling so far in this early stage.
Yes, I think, it looks like there's not many grooves to run on the racetrack from what I can tell. You mentioned that the outside line is preferred. Why is that?
It's very weird. There's a little bit more banking, I believe, up there, and the way that the turn is, it's so wide that it's not like a Martinsville where it's a very tight turn where the bottom is preferred. It's a lot wider of a turn, so you're able to keep the momentum up there. And I believe there might be a little bit of progressive banking. You asked me a question I didn't know the answer to so much, but I do believe a lot of it comes down to just how wide the turn is. That it just makes it a lot easier for these trucks to be able to just keep the momentum and have the speed coming out of the turns here. It just it makes it so difficult to make any kind of moves underneath of a driver. Just you can make the move, but can you clear them? And a lot of times the, the answer to that question is no. So that'd be probably the reason why. Maybe Rich, do you know why?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Man, if I had a class, you both be failing. why do you believe the outside lane here is so dominant?
Around here, that's a really good question. I honestly don't know much about short track, enough about short track racing to be able to tell you much there, Gerald. Um, it's something I've wondered to myself as well in the past because I personally hate running up high on a racetrack. It feels so counterintuitive, but no, there's pace to be found. That might just be where the rubber is on the racetrack, obviously. Um, no, but that's also just a factor of guys going up there. So yeah, I'm not sure about the exact specifications of IRP either in terms of just the banking and how everything's laid out here. But yeah, that is a good question.
Yeah, she stumped us both on that one. What stumps me is Chad Frankenfield battled so hard to get that second position. He's gonna once again decide to take that outside lane and allow that 9 truck to have that inner front row. And we'll see if Fody is able to clear both him and Chad before they get into the turn, or if Shane Ryan there in the 9 is going to be able to have the momentum to see if he can be able to put a battle once again to Chad. But waiting on Fody. Green flag is back out. And Fody once again has a really good start, and so does the 9 truck. Not what Chad Frankenfield was wanting, because the 9's going to dive it in there. We'll see if he slides it up in front of him. Oh, he's got just Chad had just a nose to be able to stop that slide maneuver completion on him, as he now finds himself back onto the outside. So the 9 now is going to have to try to figure a way around, but the caution is out. We got a driver flipping all different directions down the back straightaway here. I think it was the 03 truck, as he went all different directions. I don't know where the truck wanted to go. Oh! I don't know if there's a panel going to be saved on that truck. That was pretty bad. that was a pretty bad hit there. That was Michael Kean again. We saw him in the wall a little earlier in the race, but now that was a lot harder than the wall. That truck is destroyed. We saw a couple drivers getting loose and a couple contact. A couple of them, one of those was Daniel Martinez, got loose down there on the bottom. I didn't see him make any contact, but definitely is going to be keep an eye on kind of situation. So the caution comes out at a very questionable time. The stage ends on lap 30. And I think we're going to have 1 lap green. So we're going to have a 1 lap green as far as the end of this stage here to determine the top 10. Why that's important is because the top 10 receive points at the end of the night here. So we'll have to keep an eye on some of those drivers that are right there on the cutoff line of the chase and see who's going to be able to get those all-important points that they're going to need for to help their situation. So a lot of drivers decided to come down pit road and get tires and opt to be able to flop back around if some of these drivers stay out and be able to get back in front of them. Okay, sorry, I was a little quiet there for a little bit. I had to listen in. We have a lot of situations going on the racetrack. So the admin has determined that these points were already given out. I don't know who the top 10 were. And a lot of the drivers up front had no idea that they can come down pit road to be able to take their tires because they thought they had to stay out to get the stage points. And some drivers knew that they already had received points, and some of them thought they needed to stay out to receive those stage points. So now we have a bunch of drivers that are very angry with the race control right now because now they are stuck out front and no benefit for it. I mean, there is no benefit for them staying out. So unfortunately, that puts a lot of people up front that are now going to have to try to defend for the next 30 laps because that's when the next stage comes for them to be able to put on tires. So we'll see if these drivers up here that have stayed out. I believe the next driver with new tires is See if I can get an idea. Chad Frankenfield back there in 7th. So 6 drivers stayed out on old tires. So we're going to go back green here. We'll have to keep an eye on some of these drivers with old tires and see how they do with all these fast charging trucks that are going to probably eat some of them alive here. So buckle up here. As soon as we get going here, I forgot we got to do the Dine and Dash question. Green flag is out. Fody gets out to a lead there. And it looks like the two of Vincent Isabella is able to clear himself for the second right behind his teammate. As a slew of drivers in all different directions here. All right, real quick, Erica, what's our Dine and Dash question of the night?
Ooh, or rather, how many cautions will there be in the final stage?
There you go. You have until the end of stage 2. You have 30 laps to put down a number. The number is, caution's out right now. That doesn't count for the caution amount. The caution. Oh, we got a truck around in the front back up there. That's the 92. That's Ethan Stanley. He was one of those drivers that stayed out on old tires, and now he finds himself spun around. We'll get a replay and find out, and they'll go over the rules for the Dine and Dash challenge here. Our Whiskey Cast replay. Looks like he was on the inside of Alec Wellvanes. And just got loose. Yeah, he just got a little loose. Got the throttle down a little too hard. Great evasive maneuvers by some of those drivers. I think Dustin Durr in that patriotic paint scheme ducked really down low and was able to clear himself. So very good evasive maneuvers by some of these drivers out here tonight. But real quick, our Dine and Dash question. You have until lap 60 to be able to just put down a number. How many cautions will be in the final stage? That will be from lap 60 into lap 125. How many cautions? Do you think 3? You think 5? All you've got to do is just put down a number of how many cautions into the chat that you're watching right now on. So if you put down into the chat how many cautions we'll have tonight, you have a reasonable chance to try to take home some money. So right now we've had about 4 or 5 cautions here. So if that gives us any kind of indications for the rest of the night. There might be a few options to pick from. What do you think of that question there that she came up with, Rish? And Rish is busy giving... He's in the helicopter right now, you can see from this view. So it's probably hard for him to hear us up there. Well, Erica, I don't think Rish can hear us from the helicopter view. So, I think it's a good question. Do you think it's going to be a relatively high number here tonight? It is a short track.
I do. We'll have to kind of see how it goes, but yes, I would say probably somewhere around 8 if I had to guess.
So that was the exact number I was thinking about, Erica. I was thinking 8. Someone guessed 18. That's gonna. I hope not. I wanna.
We'll be here all night.
Yeah, we'll be here all night if it's 18. I really hope that's wrong. I really hope it's not 18. So, what this does do is this caution helps out those drivers with old tires because this just adds more laps to get them towards that end of that stage. You have until the end of the second stage to put your answer in of how many cautions will be there. Well, while they're running down, I'm going to give it over to you, Erica, to give our sponsor shout-outs of the night.
Powerhouse Recycling strives to offer the highest level of customer service in the industry for each load process time and time again. Attainable account representatives, prompt and on-time pickups, and customized recycling solutions keeps Powerhouse Recycling as a North Carolina market leader in customer service. Another one of our sponsors tonight is Blue Egg Marketing, the marketing department for your small business. And C2 Freight, offering complete freight management services, ready to meet your needs today as well as your changing needs in the future.
Good, and just in time for the pace truck to come down and Fody to go about giving us the green flag here. Bodie waiting until he gets closer to the front straightaway. Green flag is out. Bodie's back onto the loud pedal as his teammate timed it just perfectly, would you figure, to be able to get clear of the bottom lane. Now we find both of those Lake Norman trucks out front in front of the lead as we see a driver back slam the wall, as I believe that was Dustin Durr. As yeah, you see that in that door is all crumpled up on that Patriotic scene there.
It looked good though. It really did.
You love your Patriotic paint schemes, don't you?
Baby break.
Yeah, there you go. All right. So Dustin Bird able to keep going, but looks like it may not have been as bad of an option staying out on old tires as we had once believed, as it's been very difficult for these drivers to be able to get around each other. Chad Frankenfield has been stuck behind Dixon, and not afraid to make it 3 wide is Chad Frankenfield as he dives it in there and is trying to be able to clear the outside lane. Oh, he gets a little bit of contact with that was, oh man, they're still beating and banging. That's a 79 there. We've seen Tyler Dixon have a few scruffles tonight as he's still going in a decent position, but Chad Frankenfield definitely put his elbows out and kind of gave him a shove there to be able to clear himself. So now Frankenfield is onto the back bumper of the 5. That's Alec Ballvance there. That's for the 6th position. That just shows you how difficult it's been for new tires even to be able to try to work their way up through the field. Well, now it looks like Chad Frankenfield. Oh, he bumps him. He actually doored him down the back straightaway there. I don't think it was on purpose. He might have gotten loose, but he definitely doored him down the back straightaway. So now Chad Frankenfield's just moved from him. Going to try to continue that in the line, but you see the stack up starting to hold right there between drivers with new tires and old tires. As Sean Ryan, the 9, is going to try to work his way back up through the field as well. As Dixon once again goes back underneath the 5 without his ball man stripping back the battle. But oh, caution! Oh, big hits where Chad Frankenfield involved. Wow, there's a bunch of drivers. It looks like 2 drivers got hooked together down the front straightaway, and then nowhere to go was the 79 slamming into the back of, I believe it was Chad Frankenfield. Boy, that was messy, very fast. We'll try to get a look and see if there are any of our drivers in the chase here. As Michael Goodman, he clips Chad Frankenfield down the. It was actually Michael Goodman there that got hit by Dixon, and right into Dixon, Dustin Durr, as well as I believe that's the 6. Good maneuver by the 22. Wow, that was Dylan Jones. Somehow got through that. Dylan Jones did a fantastic maneuver right through that. Didn't hit a thing. That was awesome. I'd like to see an onboard shot of that, Rich, if we can, on that 22 truck. That was impressive. See them starting to man. Right there, if you paused it, I would said he would have been involved. Absolutely. Wow. Wow. That was awesome. Wow. That's good on him to hold the wheel, but there is no way he knew he was making it through that. Holy cow. That was impressive. Wow. That is just the doors opening up for you to just clear yourself right through that. Wow, that was everything going right in his hands right there. That puts him up into the 9th place, but more importantly, he doesn't have a scratch on that thing. They didn't even touch it. That's awesome. That was really, really cool to see that. No net code affected him or anything. So really good on him for that. Unfortunately, Zach Evans was involved in that wreck, and now he finds himself out of the race, and he finds himself back in 26th position into the clutches of some of these drivers that may point their way in. So he's going to hope that some of these drivers that were behind him aren't going to be able to find a way up there, as there are a lot of drivers out tonight so far. We are only down to 23 cars to complete that. So very quickly, the attrition rate has been at work. It is knocked down from 34 down to 25 or 23. So was that 11 cars out? Wow. So yeah, Dylan Jones, one of those drivers that's going to have to keep an eye on as far as not Dylan Jones. I'm sorry, Zach Evans, one of those drivers that's going to have to keep an eye on to the broadcaster and see if he's going to be able to make it in on his points. He was quite a bit of points above, but not safely. I would not say he was completely safely above the cutoff line. He was around 18 points, so by no means, especially with stage points being awarded here shortly, if some of those drivers that were behind him, they'll be gaining some points on him. Well, Fody's back out front once again, showing that maybe not taking tires was the way to go. One of his competitors there was almost taken out, Chad Frankenfield. Chad Frankenfield still going even after getting hooked into the wall. We'll see how much damage there truly is on his car and pace as he finds himself on the inside lane there in the second row. Justin Munsell now going to battle underneath Fody for the second place, and I'm sure we'll see the 2 and the 40 hook up very nicely on the restart. As they do so, they both clear the 98 going into turn 1, and now Fody finds himself comfortably out front. Well, folks, you have 10 laps to go to be able to put your vote in. Just got to give us a number. How many cautions will we have in the final stages? Counting ends at the end of stage 2. So put down any kind of answer you want. You can win $10 very easily, very easily. Just put down the number of cautions you think we'll have in the final stage, and I'll keep a tally. That way we're accurate on it. But now we're all spaced out a little bit up front here. Chad Frankenfield, not showing the speed he did with fresh tires just a minute ago, making all those aggressive moves. I'm thinking he probably has a pretty damaged truck there to not be able to gain anything on those drivers with old tires. As you see the 9 doing just that with the 5 with fresh tires underneath him. So Shane Ryan, one of those drivers that is outside looking in and having a very good night tonight. Our road course winner showing that he's good at these short tracks as well. He's got a very lower approach than a lot of these other drivers I've been watching. Oh, as we got another driver spun around, Cole Merkrat in the 62, mellow yellow truck back there got turned around going into turn 1. So we'll have another Whiskey Cast replay here. Now, please, if we're gonna, this is not a drinking challenge, so let's not do that. If we're gonna see the Whiskey Cast replay every single time, I'd like our viewers to be able to be sobered up enough by the time we get back on next week. Oh, another thing, same with Chad. Got turned around. This time, the 88 once again, clipping another driver coming out of turn 1. That's where he had troubles earlier, as he had turned another driver. This time around, he turned the driver a lot harder. And it looks like they're calling it as net code. That would have been pretty close net code if that was net code, because that was right onto the back bumper of the 62 there. Unfortunate for Cole there, is he's going to have a ton of damage for it, but luckily enough, no one collected up with him there, hard enough to end in anyone's night. So just getting an idea of some of those drivers that are outside the points or around the points cutoff line that are in a bad spot. in a bad spot. Dylan Jones not in a bad spot before I get to there, making his way through that. He was about 13 points outside the cutoff zone, and that avoiding that wreck might have just maybe got him into the chase, or at least it's now putting him into a prime spot to try to work his way into the chase. So Dylan Jones That wreck might be something he goes back to and watches a few times there. Robert Hill Jr. not going to make it, unfortunately, as he's out of the race and behind quite a few drivers. Biggest mover right now, I think, would be the number 9, Shane Ryan. He's back there in the 16th position. He does have a win to his credit, but again, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's in. This will help him with trying to make it in. Another driver that is not in tonight's race, which is going to void out his chances completely, is the driver that I had picked to be pretty good this season. That was Scott Crump. So Scott Crump was on the 12th cutoff zone, on 12th place in points. And Scott Crump is not in tonight's race. So unfortunately for Scott Crump, his chase hopes are done. Absolutely done. So now that frees up because he was one of those drivers with a win. Daniel Martinez, another driver having a great night. He's 13th in points with a win. Now guaranteed to at least gain a spot from that. Joshua Freed back there, we saw him have some troubles early on. Joshua Freed is running in he's up there now in 9th position. So Joshua Freed, one of those drivers trying to find his way in, is now running fairly decent. But he had troubles early on. Another driver to keep an eye on to try to see if he gets his way into the points as well. He was 14th, so he was right on that cutoff line as well, with Scott Crump being out. So Joshua Freed just doing what he needs to try to get himself in. We're not going to know, folks, until the checker flag waves who's good and who's not. But it's definitely a lot of fun to just look and see how they're running, so we can, once it's all over, kind of get an idea of how their night progressed. But going back green here once again is Fody. And once again we see the 2-car Vincent Isabella timing it with Fody, but not as well as they had done before, because now the 98 of Munsell timed that a little bit better. It's now to the inside. Oh, it's a little loose coming out of turn 2 and loses all that advantage that he had on that good restart. So now it puts the 2 truck back out in front of him. Battle for 4th place shaping up really good there. That's Daniel Martinez and Levi Zielinski. And Shane Ryan right there putting his nose into the battle of this 4th place as well. Oh, we see I think that was Levi getting into the outside wall just a little bit out of turn 2. It really does come out and bite you very quickly. Daniel Martinez now going to lose a couple of spots there. So all 3 of these drivers are trying to get their way in. And with Scott Crump being out, it almost guarantees the 9 and the 33. Both of those drivers have won victories to them as a caution is out. We'll try to get an idea of who might that have been. But Daniel Martinez and Shane Ryan are going to take a breath knowing that Scott Crump isn't in tonight's race. So both of those drivers are locked in now. Hopefully someone tells them so they can take a breath. Well, that was a stage caution. Sorry. Well, I hope you put your answer in. 12 cautions. I got one from Ethan. He's trying to go for a double down and get some more money from me. So 12 cautions from Ethan. We'll have to keep a tally here. Let's see. Erica, are you back with us yet? I think she had to attend to the child. See if she can give us our sponsor breakdown, as some of these drivers are going to get some fresh shoes on, some of them for the first time of the night, like Fody here. All right, Erica, are you back with us yet? Don't believe so. So she'll join us here. She's Mother of the Year as well as Broadcaster Helper of the Year. So she having to attend to the baby as we're having fun here tonight, watching these trucks and seeing all the what ifs. So Fody's going to win the pace off pit road. Going to get back out there. I got to see if, I believe a couple drivers may have stayed out. Maybe not. Maybe those are waiver rounds. Oh no, that looks like Chad Frankenfield. If I know Chad Frankenfield, he stayed out. Yes, he did. Yeah, we got a few drivers actually staying out here. So Chad Frankenfield out front. William Harrington, number 66, struck out in second. Michael Hozak is going to be in third position. Sam Batweld having himself a decent night tonight. He finds himself in fourth. And looks like Alex Vandersand is going to be in fifth place. So now Fody finds himself back in sixth. So we'll see if new tires work better for him than his his competition did in the previous. If you had guessed, I would have said he would have fell back pretty quickly with staying out on old tires that last stage, but not the case. Most of the drivers that were in the top 5 were the drivers that didn't take tires. I believe the top 3 were drivers that had stayed out. So maybe Chad Frankenfield trying to emulate that, but unfortunately for Frankenfield, he's not going to have a clean truck like Fody did. As is completely beaten. That is true, Scott. Scott just made a very valid point here. He is definitely hoping for one of those drivers with wins to get into the top 12, as that would clear up one of those positions to be able to get in on a victory. So, yeah, Scott Crump is definitely a big Daniel Martinez fan and Shane Ryan fan, and he's got to be feeling decent so far, because so far those drivers both have been running very well and collecting a lot of stage points. So, Scott Crump, you're absolutely correct. Next time, if you're not going to race, put a guess in so you can try to win some money instead of just tuning in to watch your fate decided by other drivers here. So, yeah, Scott Crump is hoping that his season's not over. He's going to be cheering on some other drivers to help that along here. So now we'll wait on Chad Frankenfield, the newest driver, to be out front. So again, it's the most cautions to decide the Dine and Dash challenge for tonight. So we'll have to keep a tally of how many cautions we have tonight. So we already saw the 66 there, William Harrington, one of those drivers that stayed out. Kodak truck, a little bit of contact with the wall. So they come up on the lap truck right there. I believe that's Goodman. 3 wide coming into turn 4, and Cody doing a very masterful job so far. Has worked himself up, looking for the 4th place position there. Underneath the 47, Sam Batwell. Sam Batwell a little bit loose there, and is getting swallowed up. A huge pack of trucks there. Huge pack of trucks fighting all for the top 10 position. As we see 3 wide back there. It looks like Sam Batwell on the very bottom, 97. Daniel Martinez on the very high side, 98 of Munsell. There's a huge gaggle back there, just not looking good. If I was a storm chaser, I'd be looking right there, because that is messy. That is not what you want to see at a short track, is trying to work your way up through the field. It's just trucks going in all different directions. Trucks with older tires right up against the high side there. Harrington, one of those in the 66, holding up. It looks like Daniel Martinez right behind him with freshies. Daniel Martinez not really having anywhere to go. 97 trying desperately to clear himself. That is a battle for, I believe that's a battle for 6th place, as looks like Alex Vandersand is able to clear himself. Alex Vandersand, one of those drivers that stayed out on old tires, so it was a battle between 2 old tires holding up the entire field. They all lost a couple seconds from the front pack from just going side by side. 3 wide. Oh, oh, we do have contact. Zielinski into the wall, hit Alex Vandersand into the wall even harder. I knew there was going to be some contact with how hard they were racing. All drivers able to keep going, but Alex Vandersand is going to have a ton of damage to his vehicle, as well as Levi Zielinski. See, Kendall Noah player. The plane is safe tonight. It's got a clean truck. Gonna try something at the end. Oh, the number 2, Vincent Isabella, into the wall, back up. Oh, wow. Another great save by someone not hitting another driver, spun around. Got to go back and watch that one as well. But, yeah, that was Vincent Isabella. Maybe got to bump into that turn 3 and went straight into the wall there, backwards. And wow, that could have been a lot worse though. See Shane Ryan there trying to get the inside maneuver as Vincent is trying to make a pass as well. Makes it 3 wide going down the back straightaway. And right there, just a little bit of a tap. Might have been a little bit of net code to help that, but wow. I think that was Alex Vandersand that just barely got past Vincent before he slid back up, as that could have hurt both of their chances. Vincent Isabella pretty angry, as you can imagine. So you see there, Vincent is going to get up to the side there of the 9, showing his displeasures. We'll have to keep an eye on it. I thought the rivalry of the year was going to be Vincent and Daniel Martinez, but now Daniel Martinez might lose his dancing partner, as it looks like Shane Ryan there is going to have an admirer for the rest of the season. But who knows? Maybe we'll see the 2 and the 33 scrap again tonight, as they are going to align very closely now together. None of you are aware, I think we've had a total of 4 or 5 separate incidents between those drivers in just a matter of 10 races so far this season. So they say there's no rivalry, but I definitely am keeping an eye on it. One driver that Chad Frankenfield's going to have to keep an eye on, as he's not going to have a choice. His eyes are eventually going to be on him. It might be on the back bumper of him very shortly. That's Fody. Fody's found himself up to 2nd place and showing just how strong of a truck he has tonight. So definitely one of the drivers that have been just dominant all the way around. Ever since he put that Ross Chastain scheme onto that 40 truck there, he's been very strong. Neither one of these drivers up here in top 2 positions are running for points. Both of them are previous truck champions, and that makes them voided of any kind of chase hopes. Coming to the choose cone, we're on lap 77. So that was our first caution of stage 3. Yes, I don't believe that's going to be the final one. Ethan, guessing 12, is going to be hoping that there's one every other lap at this point to be able to get up to 12. But we had a decent little run there. So Chad Frankenfield's not going to have Fody behind him. Fody decided to take the outside lane from the choose cone, heading on Chad Frankenfield, and he takes off pretty earlier than anyone has so far tonight. So now Fody's now going to go battle with the 24, Michael Husak. Oh, I see a little bit of contact with the 9 and the I believe that was the 9 and Justin Munsell there getting into a little bit of a scuffle there, as it looks like Shane Ryan trying to get to the outside, or try to make room to the outside. So now Fody is able to go to battle with Chad Frankenfield. Going to keep an eye on this lead, because I don't believe it's going to be very long before Fody is able to complete a maneuver on Chad. Chad Frankenfield, not only with old tires, but also with a very damaged truck here, doing the best he can with what he has. But Fody, Justin Munsell got loose out of turn 4 there. Actually going to lose position, and we actually have a driver around. I believe it's the 88, Trey Holmes. So caution number 2 of the final stage here. Vincent Isabella might have gotten a little bit of contact there with the 88. Trey Holmes is going to try to forget about turn 4. Two got a little bit of contact coming out of turn 4, turned him right around, sent the 88 right into the inside wall. 88 has had quite a few contacts out of turn 4 as he whips it around, trying to get back on before the leaders get back around. But yeah, Trey Holmes is going to continue out there, but now with a severely damaged truck. Still have 23 trucks on the lead lap here. So now we are on lap 83 of 125. And still out front is Chad Frankenfield. Fody unable to make any kind of maneuver in that short green flag run. Our top 10 running order so far is Chad Frankenfield leading the way, Tyler Fody in second, Shane Ryan in third, Justin Munsell in fourth, Michael Hosak having a very, very good run tonight in fifth. Started back in 29th, so good run for Michael Hosak, and still has a fairly decent truck underneath him, still fairly clean. Ethan Stanley is in sixth, Alex Vandersant in seventh, Daniel Martinez in eighth, Levi Zielinski in ninth, and Vincent Isabella is no, actually I think they switched it around. Dylan Jones, I think Vincent went down pit road, might have gone down pit road. So Dylan Jones now finds himself in 10th position, trying every way he can to try to be able to get his way in. Definitely was an outside shot, Dylan Jones. So I'd love to see Dylan Jones see if he can get up there. As that pass through that wreck carnage made me a fan. That was you can't have that happen and not make it in. He just I mean, it worked out so perfectly for the 22 that way. He got some stage points and everything. He's in the top 10. I think he needs to gain more positions than that. I really think he needs to be up towards the top 5 to have any chance of it. But right now, he's about 18 points out of the chase, or out of the top 12. So he needs to gain a little bit more points if he's going to get himself in. A couple other drivers having some very good nights tonight. Ken the No player with a very clean truck finds himself in 11th. And then Ray Bracey. I know there's some Ray Bracey fans out there. He's in 12th place in that pretty truck. Always comes to the track with the most brightest truck you can imagine. He's got his nice yellow and green truck that he likes to run. So Ray Bracey having a good night tonight. Doesn't even look like it's been touched out there. So Ray Bracey doing very well. William Harrington, one of those drivers in that Kodak that fell back, he finds himself right behind Ray Bracey. Alec Ballvance and Joshua Freed, another one of those drivers in the top 15. Joshua Freed trying to also get himself into the points tonight. So pace truck is off. We'll be waiting on Chad Frankfield once again. He took an early start last time. We'll see if it's going to be another early jump or if he's going to wait a little bit longer and keep him guessing. And a little bit longer wait this time. It wasn't in the middle of the turn like it was last. And Chad Frankfield once again clears himself. But now he's going to have the 9 of Shane Ryan. Shane Ryan had that inside row there and is now going to try to see if he can complete the pass on Fody. And it is going to complete the pass on Fody. So now Fody has been passed and loses his opportunity to be able to take the lead over Chad Frankenfield. So now Shane Ryan there is going to look onto the inside of Chad there, going into turn 1 and 2. Chad desperately driving up against the wall there, trying to keep it in front of that 9 truck. Battle there for 4th place. That's Ethan Stanley and Justin Munsell. Getting very close between those two drivers coming out of turn 4. 9 truck once again looking to the inside. Chad Frankenfield going around 3 and 4. Has a nose underneath him as of now. Comes down the back straightaway. It's going to lose the momentum. Chad Frankenfield still out front, but the 9 desperately trying to get that bottom lane wrapped around and rolling to see if he can be able to clear for the lead. Fody right now just trying to pick the best lane to be able to clear himself of one of the drivers here. Right now, it looks so far he's going to choose the outside, but Justin Munsell is now going to try to battle Fody on the inside lane. Chad Frankenfield desperately holding him off with old tires and a damaged truck and doing a very good job at it so far. But right now, he has a chase driver desperately trying to get himself securely locked in and on points. Now Fody looking to the inside of the 9 truck there, going into turn 3 and 4. Fody wrapped around the bottom very nicely there. Was able to get up to the door. See how he does around turns 1 and 2 there. So far, Fody has been one of the most stable trucks going around the turns I've seen. Battle still shaping up. Maybe a little contact there, but very close. As you expect from a short track, very good long green flag run we've had so far here. As the Fody's truck is slowly pushing on that 9 higher and higher. Fody gets a little loose and clears himself. Now Fody's back out into the second place and is going to try to track back down to Chad Frankenfield. As now Justin Munsell, those two made contact a little bit earlier ago. Now they're going back to battle once again. Oh, they have more contact. The 9 gets hit and they both save it. Wow, the 9 got way sideways there when they had contact. That almost spun him around. I could hear Scott Crump crying from air from that one, as he is rooting for that 9 truck to have a good run tonight, as he needs him to get himself into the top 12, and that would have ended it right there if he would have been spun around. As the 9 truck is still able to keep going, but now he finds himself back there in 4th position, as Fody is slowly tracking down the leader of Chad Frankenfield. That 9 truck, ever since he battled with Chad, he might have burned his stuff up because it has been so tight for him. He has been running way higher than anybody around turns 1 and 2. As now he has, I believe that's Alex Vandersant now start to slowly gain up on him to show you if he can try to make a move. Battle back there, that's the number 24 and the double 0 there. That's Levi and Michael Hozak. That's a battle for 8th position. As looks like Levi is able to clear himself. And now the 24 is going to drop back a few more positions, as it looks like that's Kendall Noah Player having a very good run tonight. Kendall Noah Player finds himself into the top 10. I always like to shout out Kendall Noah Player, but it always ends up being for naught when something goes wrong. I really hope tonight's the difference, as Kendall Noah Player is having a very good night. As Dylan Jones now has a little bit of damage, so somewhere around the racetrack he's made some contact to the outside wall. It looks like we have, I don't know if there's a battle for the lead going on right now. Yes, there is. There is a big battle for the lead. Fody's onto the inside of Chad Frankenfield, puts him into the wall, gets a little bit of contact, and clears himself right before, more contact. The 98 also gets into Chad Frankenfield coming out of turn 2. And that was under caution, so that was under no gain, and that just gives Chad even more damage to his already damaged truck. Oh, it was, looks like it was Vincent Isabella and Dylan Jones. Oh no. This time around, it looks like Vincent Isabella spins himself onto the back bumper of the 22 of Dylan Jones. So Dylan Jones once again catches a break, as that could have easily spun him around as well. So Dylan Jones has been dodging bullets. We do have some takers down pit road, by the way. Looks like we have quite a few drivers that opted to go down pit road, and some drivers opted to stay out onto the racetrack here. Looks like Fody is going to stay out on the racetrack, but one driver that did go in is Chad Frankenfield. He's already ducked in, as we're going to go about a little bit of a replay of what happened here with Fody and Chad. Going in, Fody dove it in there. Not this time around, but I believe it was maybe one lap after this, because they were battling pretty hard there. And you see Justin Munsell closing in on him. That's how much slower it is when you're side by side. Again, this is a replay of what happened with Chad Frankenfield. I believe it's going into this turn here. Chad and Fody make a little bit of contact. Chad hits the wall, not very hard, but here comes the 98, and this is a lot harder of a hit for Chad. Boom! That was a lot harder hit for Chad, as Chad Frankenfield hits the outside wall pretty hard there. So now this changes everything up front. Fode's out there with old tires. Now he's the one back out again with old tires. Justin Munsell finds himself in second. Chad didn't take tires. I thought he'd come down, but no, he stayed out as well. Chad Frankenfield in third place. Shane Ryan back there in fourth place. Kendall Noah Player in the top 5 tonight. Kendall Noah Player now is running himself into fifth place. And Brent Jones, the man that always sneaks his way into one of these things, I would say back his way into it, but his truck is looking very nice here tonight. Very clean. And back there as well as, I believe, the start of some of these drivers with new tires. I'm not quite sure where the new tires start. It might be here. I believe it's here. Alex Vandersam in back in seventh. I believe it's the start of the new tires. As Alex Vandersam is in seventh. Ethan Stanley in eighth. Daniel Martinez in ninth. Levi Zielinski in 10th, rounding out our top 10. Michael Hozak in 11th. Dylan Jones, 12th. Vincent Isabella, after that caution, finds himself in 13th. And Ray Bracey back there in 14th with some new tires, seeing if he can work his way up from that 31st starting position. Man, so much going on. So much to lose. So many drivers with their own game plan and own hopes for their season tonight. And it doesn't help when there's so many strategies going on the racetrack with tires. But you gotta love this track for what it is. You're back, Erica.
Yes, and if we have a minute, maybe we'll take a moment to acknowledge the sponsors.
Well, we might have to wait for the next caution, as that
Okay.
was caution number 3 so far tonight, as we're about to go green here. We're on lap 22. We've had actually quite a bit of green flag racing for a short track here, as waiting on Fode. Chad Frankenfield trying to see if he can time this better. Frankenfield does decently there. He might get himself into second. He does. He dives in front of Munsell. Munsell back to the inside of him. That might be a little bit of anger out of Chad Frankenfield trying to make sure that he doesn't make it easy on the 98. But what that does do is that puts Fode very comfortably out front, as his closest competitor with same amount of tires is now stuck behind Chad Frankenfield. Well, don't look now. Here comes the new tires right behind Kendall Noah Player. Try to see if he can make a move. Ended up actually making contact and lost a lot of time in spots for it. That was the 97, as we do have a truck around back there. It's Joshua Freed in the 25. But that was Alex Vanderson I was speaking of that made contact. He was leading the charge with new tires, and now he's going to be back quite a few positions from that. He tried to clear himself down and made a little contact and saved it before making too much wall contact. But overall, he's going to lose out for it, because now he finds himself back into the 7th position. Give it a little bit of Whiskey Cast replay, and then I'd be more than happy to let you do the sponsor shout out for tonight, Erica. So it looks like Joshua Freed on the inside. Did he get a little loose? Yep, that's what it was. He got a little loose coming out of turn 2, saves it. That's, I believe, his second one in the night where he saved it without hitting a thing. Oh, don't save it and hit the wall. he didn't, but it was looking like it. Alright, Erica, let's go ahead and have our sponsor breakdown for the night.
Okay, well, not only does C2 Freight offer complete freight management services, they also offer electronic data interchange services, which allow shippers to keep close electronic tabs on their shipments throughout the freight movement process. For more information about ADI services or to discuss your needs for other specialized services, please contact C2 Freight. We also have Blue Egg, we're your marketing department, and Powerhouse Recycling. They believe in quality customer service before, during, and after the processing of a client's materials.
Well, I appreciate that, Erica. I don't know if you've been watching, but it's been taking care of the baby and everything. Not that you would not want to watch this, as this has been very entertaining. There has been a lot of contact all through the field, and especially up front here as of late, as passing on the inside has become almost a situation that you end up having to push the guy into the outside wall, as you see Chad Frankenfield with a ton of damage. It's been rough for some of these guys that are trying to point their way in. I mean, I can only imagine, but so far, Erica, if you've been watching it, I mean, do you really feel like anyone's got anything for Fody? And if they do you think there's any chance will it happen cleanly?
No.
No. Well, at least you're honest with me. I mean, it looks very difficult to be able to try to make any kind of maneuver, especially with a driver with a very clean truck and it's been so fast. So I think if anyone is going to have to make a move, they may end up having to pinch Fody up through that wall. So you wouldn't take it badly, would you? Some of these drivers look very angry right now. I kind of had a feeling there might be, but if a driver raced all this, this long, this entire night, and he got pinched into the outside wall, you wouldn't take offense to that, would you, Erica?
Well, I don't see how they wouldn't, Gerald. But I would like to know, where are we in terms of caution laps for this stage so far?
Well, we've had so far 4 cautions, which is not bad for a short track.
15 laps to go.
15 laps to go. I think our guess of 8 might be out of the option. That might be too difficult. But we'll find out. Yeah, we shall see. With the bumping, as they say, it's just begun. As there are still now 24 trucks on the lead lap, as Dixon leads it all the way, or is the final truck on the lead lap. But we'll find out from Fody and Chad, see how it all shapes up front here. You see Chad Frankenfield once again trying to time the restart with Fody. Chad Frankenfield gets a jump. What in the world happened there? Chad Frankenfield jumps out, and we've got a huge wreck down the back front straightaway. 8 trucks involved, 9 trucks involved. They're still wrecking back there. As the checkups began up front, as games were played, and unfortunately, the Jenga has fallen, and drivers are going to have some torn up trucks here, as that took out, I guarantee you, a few of those chase drivers trying to get their way in. Wow. So there's going to be penalties, I guarantee you, up front, as Chad Frankenfield somehow jumped the start and led the whole entire race there. So I'm not sure what Chad Frankenfield was doing there, but right there you see the 97 make contact, and this is where it all goes wrong, as he comes back down. Oh, Ray Bracey is involved. Oh, and that's going to point him right to the inside wall. Daniel Martinez involved. The 66 of Harrington involved, as all of them all find their way down to the bottom and into the wall there. It looks like that's 47, Sam Batwell, and there's just so many trucks. There's so many trucks involved on that bottom lane there. I see Texas Pete truck. I love that hot sauce, but unfortunately, it's not going to taste great when it's going to be rubbed up against the wall like that. Okay, so that was a bad call, but I can't say those things, as I should be indifferent here. 98 is actually going to be the one. Let's go, because people are going to want to know what's going on. Rish, we need to have another helicopter view, of maybe a little bit closer if we can, of what happened up in the front, because Chad Frankenfield is being declared not at fault for the chaos there. They're saying it was a 98 for bumping Fody on the restart. So we're going to give a replay, because now the 98 is actually going to get an EOL and put him all the way to the back of the field. And unfortunately for the 98, I don't think he'll have any time to be able to get up to the front. So here's the pace car coming off here. So what we want to keep an eye on is that multicolored car there behind Fody. There's Chad's stating that the 98 bumps Fody, and the bump made Fody look like he was jumping the start and going. So Chad went. So I'm not.
Bumps, obviously.
Yeah, there's bumps there, and that's what caused a lot of crashes. But yeah, for some reason, Chad's gonna end up now with the lead over Fody. Due to, I guess, the 98 bumping Chad, or 98 bumping Fody. So we're gonna do a slow mo here and see. Does Chad go when the bump is initiated? There's the bump, and Chad goes. 98 is bumping because he sees Chad going. He checks up. And then the checkups begin down the line. And that's so. Well, we're gonna go back green here. Chad Frankfield now the leader out in front of Fody is going to have 8 laps to try to see if he can hold off Fody and the fresh tires, as looks like a new challenger, the 92 with fresh tires. I think that's Ethan Stanley with newer tires there, is now absolutely found himself in the game to try to go after this win. He's actually going to be battling a guy around Fody. He's going to be in the inside of Chad Frankenfield. New player. That is Ethan Stanley, rookie driver, trying to see if he can get it done tonight, right beside 2 championship winning truck drivers here. See if he's got both of them to his outside. We are 7 laps to go. Now it looks like the 92 and Fody are going to be battling for second. Chad Frankenfield desperately trying to stay out in front of both of them. As looks like the 92 pinching so close. Fody is able to clear himself. Ducks underneath Chad Frankenfield, clears himself. Oh, and the caution comes out right when he's onto the inside of Chad Frankenfield. That was our 6th caution of the night. Oh no, I said it. Oh, I feel so bad for it. Both drivers having great nights tonight, and unfortunately, Brent Jones and Kendall Noah player, both drivers are involved in this latest wreck. So Kendall Noah player gets into Shane Ryan there. Oh my goodness, the 9 truck. We didn't even see that. 9 truck goes flipping in the air as he's destroyed. Absolutely destroyed for the 9 truck there, as he got turned around off the front bumper of Kendall Noah player there. Nine truck is absolutely done for the night and might end up costing Scott Crump a chance to be able to make it in, because now Shane Ryan is going to find himself all the way back into the 18th position, and was looking good to try to see if he can point his way in, but unfortunately for Shane Ryan, he's going to have to hope that, he's in. He's in regardless. He's got around Scott Crump. He's going to be in with points, so Shane Ryan is fine. But Scott Crump is now the one that's going to be left guessing if he gained enough stage points to make a worthwhile effort to get around some of these drivers in the top 12 in points. So, unfortunately for the 9 truck, is he will be done for the night. Also, Brent Jones done for the night. Well, we said, Erica, that a pass for the lead would have to happen, and then we didn't think it was going to be clean. I don't know if I thought that was going to be the pass for the lead. Oh, it's not over. It's not over.
Do you think that we're done with the cautions, or is it possible we could have 1 or 2 more?
We're absolutely going to have some more cautions here. We're at 6.
6? Mm-hmm.
Well, we're 3 laps to go. We will have, I believe, our first green-white checkered moment of the night. We have 3 of those if needed. Hopefully we don't need all 3, but we will have our first green-white checkered, so we'll continue to have the fun here as Chad Frankenfield's going to be coming to the choose cone here now. And the best thing to see what's going to happen is to see where Fody's going to line up. Is he going to take the outside lane that's more preferred, or is he going to take a risk and try to go to the bottom and see if he can get Chad? He is going to take the inside lane and try to take to battle with Chad Frankenfield for the lead. We're going to have a good one here, folks. I guarantee you, Fody is not going to allow Chad Frankenfield to try to walk off with this one. He's going to try to get the inside lane going here on the restart and see if he can be able to put a battle. I don't think last time we saw Fody and Chad Frankenfield battle under green flag conditions, there was a bump involved, and that ended up with Chad to the outside wall. I don't know if that's going to be the case, but it's setting up for a good showing here for the end of this race. Chad Frankenfield on the gas way early is Chad Frankenfield. Fody had a very good run, and it's going to be the inside of him going into turn 1. Fody onto the inside, Chad Frankenfield. Frankenfield onto the outside, coming around turns 1 and 2. Is still door to door as they come going down the back straightaway. Here we come to 1 lap to go. Fody desperately trying to get that bottom lane going as he's underneath Chad Frankenfield, coming to the line here. At the line right now, it was Chad Frankenfield by maybe an inch. Going around turn 1 and 2, Fody sliding up a little bit higher. Is there going to be any kind of contact? So far, very clean between these 2 championship drivers. As they go into turn 3 and 4, both diving it in. Contact made, Chad Frankenfield into the wall. And Fody coming out of turn 4 will win it here at IRP. And Chad Frankenfield showing his displeasure as he bumps Fody. And continues to bump Fody. And Fody comes home the race winner tonight over Chad Frankenfield and Ethan Stanley. Wow. Last lap pass, last turn pass. We knew contact was going to end up having to be made there. And Fody was not going to give it to Chad Frankenfield. Not that way. He was going to battle him as hard as he could. And it looks like Fody will come home, our tonight's winner for Lake Norman Motorsports. Very deserved burnouts for Fody, as he had a very clean race for the majority of it up front. Definitely the most dominant truck of the night. Works his way around Chad Frankenfield. Was not going to give it. The deciding factor was that last restart. Decided to take the inside lane. We hadn't seen anyone be able to make the inside lane work as well as Fody did coming on to that restart there. As they went into turn 1 and 2, he was able to have just a good enough restart to stay side by side with Chad Frankenfield. And we saw 2 laps of amazing, hard racing between both of those drivers. Well, I'm going to give it over to Erica as I take a breath here. And she's going to give us our race rundown. And then I don't know if we'll have an answer for who's made it in on points, but a lot of these drivers are going to be looking over this and trying to do a lot of calculation with their fingers and toes to see where they're going to line up at the end of the night. But real quickly, here's Erica, and she's going to go about giving us our rundown.
All right, so obviously our victor tonight is Tyler Fody, Chad Frankenfield finishing 2nd, Ethan Stanley 3rd, 4th, Michael Hossack, 5th, Vincent Isabella, Levi Zielinski 6th, Justin Munsell 7th, Alec Balvans 8th, Dustin Dewar 9th, Dylan Jones 10th, 11th, Josh Freed, Cody Harrington 12th, Harrison Talon 13th, 14th, Joshua Hodges, 15th, Michael Goodman, Daniel Martinez 16th, Brent Jones 17th, Cole Mickret 18th, 19th, Sean Ryan, 20th, Mark Keeler, 21st, Kendall Noah Player, 22nd, Sam Bootwell, and 23rd, Alex Vandesant, 24th, Trey Holmes, Brody Moore 25th, Ray Bracey 26th, Robert Hill Jr. 27th, 28th, Zach Evans, 29th, Tyler Dixon. And 30th, Tom Bourne.
Very good, Erica. No winner tonight, unfortunately, but the start of the chase is next week, and we'll have another question for our Dine and Dash challenge. But real quickly, we're going to go ahead and see if we can bring up some of these drivers here. And Erica, you willing to interview a couple of these drivers that we have in our waiting room? You there, Erica? She might be having to deal with the child once again here. So I don't mind doing it. I like to bring up Ethan. We haven't gotten to talk to Ethan too much tonight. Let's see if we can bring up our third place driver here. Ethan Stanley, you rode around there in about fifth, sixth place position for a lot of the night, and then your competitors there just kept having troubles there, and you ended up having a very good battle for the top three with two championship winning drivers. What was it going to take for you to get around both of them? Because it was so difficult to pass. It looked like.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that would have helped me to get around them, honestly, would just be a new set of tires. By the end there, I was really stressing out those tires running the low line and had nothing for them at the end, really.
Well, it was definitely a lot of great racing there. I'm you're in on points at this point, but overall, I mean, this is a great momentum boost for you because a lot of your competitors that were running really high up in points all had issues tonight, and you were one of the very few that was a consistent runner in the regular season to have some momentum after this race. Do you feel like it's going to follow you in because you've got 3 races to get from 14th battling with 14 drivers to get into the top 5. Do you feel fairly comfortable, or it's going to be a battle all the way to the end?
I mean, it'll definitely be a battle all the way to the end, but I'm feeling pretty comfortable where I am. I mean, I've been running pretty consistently up front this whole season. Came into this race second in points. Probably still am after tonight, but good run for me in the regular season. Really looking forward to the chase.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on a third place run. Definitely put in an effort there at the end of the race there. Real quick, we want to let you do your shout outs, and hopefully we can be able to hear from you again in the chase, as that will end up meaning good things in your future if that's the case. But real quick, we want to give you a shout out and let you do your thank yous that allowed you to get yourself into the chase here for the championship.
Yeah, thanks to Chad Thornquist for bringing me on and bringing me into let me know about Elite and bringing me into Inferno Racing. And I also want to thank Quantum Esports for supporting me through all of it. And yeah, thanks to you guys, and of course, series sponsors for all making this all possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you again. Good third place position. Hopefully, we'll get to see you again in the or in the championship season.
Yeah, thank you. Hope to be back here. See you soon.
That was your third place driver there, Ethan Stanley. Let's see if we can get the real quick before you bring him in. It's still under review, but it looks like Chad Frankenfield is going to have the second place. Definitely want to be able to pull him up into here so we can give an idea of what ended up happening there, as that's highly controversial decision making and everything. So let's get the man in here, and he can tell us exactly from his mouth what ended up happening for the ruling and everything. Chad Frankenfield in second place. Chad Frankenfield, you got a second place underneath your belt here tonight. You probably wanted more. There was contact being made. There was controversy. It was a regular season final race. It was a lot. There was a lot going on, a lot for everyone to take in. Before we get into what happened with Fody there in the last couple laps there, let's get, because a lot of people are wanting to know what ended up happening to allow you to get that lead to begin with in that restart there.
I just had the camera to the right, and because I get awful restarts as it is, so I just had the camera to the right, and I knew where he was kind of going, so I was kind of getting ready, and as soon as I saw his truck even slightly like jolt, I floored it. But then I noticed that he wasn't following me after I saw his truck move, so I tried to like give up a little bit, and then I noticed he was just not going. So that's when, at that point, I was like, well, I just went. So it's not ideal, but I mean, he really, I mean, I shouldn't have the lead taken away from me to begin with. So, um, I mean, like I said, it is what it is on the restart. Like I said, I saw his truck jolt, and I floored it. I had the camera to the right, and I was just trying to time it, and unfortunately, I guess it was the truck behind him kind of bumped him to jolt him like that. So that's what cost me, I guess, or cost the 98, and which cost the 40, which benefited me because when the yellow came, I was the leader. So.
All right. Well, now that that's out of the way and people kind of have an idea of what exactly went on, uh, what ended up happening with Fody and you in the last lap there? There was hard racing between you drivers, and obviously a little bit of anger showing after the race there between you and him. It looked like it was just a lot of short track hard racing there. But what, from your point of view, what was that that last lap looking like?
I mean, I think it stems for earlier than that. When he tried passing me beforehand, I try not to. I'm not going to try to go after him here in the broadcast, but I got cleaned out the first time. He came up and hit me, and then I ended up getting neck coated by the truck behind him. So that's how he got the lead the first time, and then I got the lead back on the restart issue, and then it came up and hit me again for the lead there. So I think if it would have just been, I think I'd have been fine with it if that was the only issue throughout the race. But I think because I got hit early in the race, you know.
Well, now with you and Fody, are you guys allowed to be in the chase, or is this was the final race?
We're allowed to be in the chase, yeah. So we can run any race except the championship race. So, but I'm not gonna retaliate or do anything stupid like that. I mean, I can't.
So
I wouldn't do
you're
that as
telling
a.
me that if in the same position, last lap, you're inside, that door's not going to be an option?
Oh, last lap for sure. But I mean, am I going to race him hard and give him no room? Probably the rest of the year because this is like the fourth or fifth time that we've had an issue where I've gotten hit. But um, it just comes from the standpoint that I'm going to try my best to stay clean and hopefully not cause any issues. Like I said, I'm not going to do anything intentionally, but last lap, obviously, I'm going to do what I'm going to try my best to win without causing any issues.
Well, real quickly, overall, you had a decent night, especially with what you had. You've been involved in a couple cautions, a couple wrecks, and everything. Definitely doing more with a truck that had nothing for it. It was pretty damaged there, even before that last lap battle between you two. For you to even have a challenging run for the race win was fairly impressive there. Real quick though, we want to let you do your shout outs, let you do your thank yous, because obviously there you probably have more than anybody here. So, uh, everything with Elite and Elite Broadcasting and everything, we'd love to let you do your shout outs as a lot of serious sponsors watch tonight.
I just want to thank Kicking the Tires for sponsoring me in the Trucks Xfinity Cup and IndyCar Series, and then Dixon's Barbecue, C2 Freight, Powerhouse Recycling, Blue Egg Marketing. Thank you to all of them for making it happen. This what puts on the league. So thank you to you guys for being in the booth. I know you guys probably had a good time calling the race because there's a lot of drama, but yeah, I mean, second place is okay. I just wish it would have been a little bit cleaner race all around.
Well, you still have a couple more opportunities to see if you can pay back Fody, and we look forward to it. Hopefully, it's in the Truck Series, so that way we get to enjoy it, we get to announce it. But other than that, congratulations on second, and we'll hope to see you again.
Yep, thank you.
That was Chad Frankenfield. Let's go ahead and get Fody in there before they talk it out. I don't want them talking it out over there. I want to hear the raw emotions come from the man himself. Winner tonight, battles with Chad. How much of that last lap was just being mad that you lost it on that one restart there?
Oh, man. I was pretty fired up about that, but that had nothing to do with the move. It's just a typical short track pass there. So yeah, he can whine about it all he wants. It was clean. He barely touched the wall. Only lost a spot, so I'll take that.
Well, I love it. I love it when there's controversy. I love it when there's a lot of battling out there. You and Chad have been known to have your battles, and of course, have your contact that goes along with that. But overall, it was a great race to watch. And if no one agrees with the Chad getting retaining the lead, it's set up for a final lap race there that was incredible to watch. So if anything, we could be thankful that we got to see, because it looked like you were just going to take off and leave the entire field once you got around Chad Frankenfield that last time, and now it made it to where you were battling not only with Chad but Ethan Stanley there. And it just provided great racing for the rest of us. So we're happy about that, even if it caused a lot of controversy. But overall, I mean, what was going through your mind? I mean, when you taken the outside for every restart behind Chad Frankenfield, that last time you were taking the inside, and you had an incredible restart there to be able to even stay to the inside of him. What was your game plan coming into it when you decided that you were going to try to take that inside lane on the last restart?
Yeah, well, I had tried. I had been on the top a couple times prior to that, just going based off of him, which you could get a better jump being behind him. But the guys that were leading the bottom line, I think it was Stanley the one time, were racing so hard, and were like blocking the track. So I got pinned a few times. So seeing that, once I got by Stanley, I knew from there I was just going to have to take the bottom. To at least set myself up. I knew I'd maybe get a little worse reaction on the start, but I could have the position in the corner and then just try and work it from there, and it paid off. Chad, I don't know if he missed a shift or what, but he went way early on the last restart, and then his car kind of bogged on exit, which let me get to the inside for the last 2 laps, so that helped.
Well, it was great racing, and so far you've come out the victor. But Chad Frankenfield has definitely stated that it's not over yet. He's not gonna retaliate so much, but if he finds himself on the other end, he definitely is not going to be afraid to repay the favor. And then, not that I hope to see that to you, Fody, but I definitely want to see the drama that's involved in it all. As I'm sure you two championship-winning truck drivers will definitely be up front again. You have a couple more, 3 more races that you're allowed to do for the regular season, or for the rest of the season for the championship. Are you planning to showing up and seeing if you can play spoiler again for Chad?
Well, actually, I don't know about that. I think they were saying that we're just allowed to run the regular season and that we were done after tonight. But as far as the other series, I'm sure he'll just be his usual self. I'm not going to expect anything new out of him, but we'll just approach it same as we always do.
Well, as far as what Chad has told us, you're allowed to do the championship races, just not the final race of the championship. So,
all right.
Yeah, so I guess that sets up. Don't repay the favors to each other until you get back to the truck series, though. I want it to be here, so that way we can have it nicely broadcasted and shown. And,
of course, yeah, just for you.
Yeah, just for me. I want it to be my own personal showing of you two going at it. So, yeah, absolutely. Great job out there today, Fody. You definitely had the class of the field. Definitely had the fastest truck. Not all the time you see that on the short tracks that the fastest truck wins it, but tonight was a great battling and we enjoyed it. We want to let you do your thank yous and your shout outs and everything for everyone, and then we'll let you go for the night, alrighty?
Yeah, appreciate it. Obviously got to thank Vince and Isabella for being in the chat with me tonight, racing, trying to work the strategy. He got caught up in some stuff, but he had a heck of a drive back to 5th, so shout out to him. Shout out to Blue Egg and Days Gone By, as always. Also, Miss Goodies. You guys for being up here in the booth. Definitely going to have to watch this one back. And I also got to thank Dustin Dewar for doing the Memory Lanes Champions Challenge that set us up here for this awesome finish here. So shout out to all them. And yeah, we'll get after it tomorrow and maybe next Sunday.
Absolutely. Hopefully we'll get to see Fody again. I'd like to thank everyone for showing up tonight. We'll see if there's points here. So we'll wait just a couple minutes here. Real quick, want to do a shout out to David Huckleberry, our normal broadcaster here tonight. I believe he's over in Alabama with some friends. I'd like to give a shout out to him. Hopefully he's enjoying tonight. If he was showing off his friends to some great sim racing. Tonight was a good one for him and his buddies to watch. As that was entertaining. That's what you hope for any kind of short track. The last lap pass, a lot of anger, a lot of people mad and going after each other and controversy. That we had it all tonight. We had it all tonight, and for a fairly clean race, not too many cautions, quite a few, but um, definitely manageable amount of cautions, and we just saw a fantastic race. So, shout out to Dave and his pals. As I'm glad that they got to tune in to see uh, such a great showing for these truck series, as they always produce such great racing. So, real quickly, I'm going to look to see if they've got the points updated yet here. Let's see. Trying to go through the point standings right now and see if we can be able to have an idea as of yet. I'm not seeing anything as of yet so far, because there's so much going on as far as drivers that have bad nights, but with their stage points involved and drivers with wins that can get themselves in. It might be something that might go through to the night until they figure out who's actually gets in on points or not. So, don't think we're going to stay there that long, as Erica and I have a kid that have to get taken care of here. But I would like to go about thank you, Rish, for joining us tonight. Hopefully, you usually have a more interactive role, but hopefully you enjoyed it sticking back there. You with us, Rish?
Yeah, I'm with you, Gerald. Yeah, no, lots of fun tonight. Interesting race to follow for sure, especially that Fody and Frankenfield battle at the end. But yeah, happy to help out tonight. And yeah, you guys have got a great series going here in the trucks.
Yeah, it's been. I can't be happier with the series I picked to broadcast. As the trucks here have just been putting on a show one right after the other. I really hope more people can tune in, and hopefully we can get this dine and dash thing up and going, where we just get so many answers to be able to pick from. So I'm really hoping that more people can get introduced to these truck drivers here, and we can broadcast some of these guys out here that do a really good job of racing. And hopefully, Rich, maybe one day you want to jump into one of the trucks, and I can do a couple shout outs for you out there as well.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll get back behind the wheel. It's been a hot second.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. It's like riding a bike, except for usually it's other people on bikes and you're slamming into them. So maybe a little different than bikes, but overall, can't be happier with how the regular season went. Hopefully, though, we can have a points and we'll go over everything next week when we do the start of the chase. We'll give a rundown as far as how the chase goes next week, and we'll get the regular or the chase started off right and have a fun showing for the rest of the season here. But overall, thank you, Rish. Thank you, Dr. Erica Campbell, my lovely wife, for always helping me out in here and coming up with these awesome questions for people to guess for. That's it for us, folks. As we're gonna call it a night. We'll find out points here eventually. Hopefully, if you tune in next week, we can give a rundown before the race and go over our 14 contestants going for that ever so important championship here in the Dixon Smoke Meats Truck Series. Other than that, wish you a wonderful night, and hopefully everyone's blood starts to calm down before they go to sleep. Have a wonderful night, folks, and we'll see you next week.